training camp as they seek back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time in 2 decades. Derek Carr is their quarterback, and he was talking to The Athletic about expectations for his team and the disrespect that he perceives it receives from the media. He said, quote, "No one thinks anything of us, and I think that's what makes it fun, is you always have to put the ball down and play the football games. You get frustrated when you see other people's names on things and this and that. And you're like, we're here too. We feel like we got better too. I thought we made the playoffs." Let me be very clear, Derek. You obviously weren't watching this show yesterday when I said that if you play big, and I project you will, that the Raiders are a legit Super Bowl contender. I said that yesterday. So whoever it is that doesn't believe in the Raiders, I'm not one of them. That said, Derek Carr, agree or disagree, RG3? Do the Raiders not get enough love? Did he not get enough love? Are they a legit contender this year? What do you think?
Yeah, the Raiders are legit contenders, and let them know, Greeny. Let them know that you got his back. But I think that Derek Carr, he's doing this on purpose. The Raiders are a playoff team that got better. They brought in his best friend, Derek Carr's best friend, Davante Adams, at wide receiver, and they made the playoffs last year. So when you put Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, you got all these guys on offense that can play at a really high level. The Raiders have to approach this as the chip on their shoulder because everyone else is enamored with the Chargers, who the Raiders beat to get in the playoffs last year. Everyone's enamored with the 6-time AFC West champions, reigning champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, because they got Patrick Mahomes, a Hall of Fame play caller, and a Hall of Fame tight end. So this is the only way that Derek Carr and the Raiders can really approach this season, as having that chip on their shoulder. And I don't blame him for doing that at all, because he is a top 10 leader in this league. He's showing his guys exactly what they have to do to be successful.
That's another point. Well, that team went through last year, and he led them through it. Diana, I know you've talked to him about this, but I mean, their coach had to resign in disgrace in the middle of the season in an extraordinarily controversial, emotional, dramatic fashion, and they still wound up putting together a playoff season. That speaks to the leadership of a lot of people, but including the quarterback. Diana, what did he tell you?
Yeah, they were incredible last season. I covered them tons. And anytime I had conversations with these guys on the field to the side, like, come on, man, what is it really like right now? They all said Derek Carr is leading the way. They've got Derek. So he truly is the heart and soul of that team. That being said, you got Josh McDaniels now, second stint as a head coach here, and already it sounds like a success. And here's why I'm saying this, because I know it's only July. You don't often hear first-year head coaches bonding with their players right off the jump and getting along. Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels, they golf tons together. And I spoke to a Raiders player about the offseason, trying to find out what they've been working on. And obviously they're doing the normal football stuff. But a lot of the offseason has been focused on getting to know one another, spending time together to really continue some of the success they had last year. And remember, Josh McDaniels, we know, comes from New England. There are a lot of New England tendencies already in Vegas in terms of personnel on the coaching side and the player side. And this all helps Josh or at least help him translate what he's trying to send and the message he's trying to give this team as they're trying to build something. So in terms of this team heading into the season, the bond is there. Now we just got to see the football.
What do you think, Tannenbaum?
I think he's a great leader, but over the last 5 years, no NFL quarterback has lost more games or turned the ball over more than Derek Carr. So he is easily aggrieved. He has a chip on his shoulder for no reasons. He hasn't played consistently well. I tip my cap for what they did last year, but the facts are the facts, and they're a lot closer to being the fourth best team in the AFC West than really challenging in a meaningful way, because you have Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes above them.
In a vacuum?
Yeah, I agree, but remember
Go ahead,
too, Derek Carr also, after Tom Brady, Derek Carr also has the most fourth quarter comebacks than any other active quarterback. So the pressure, there's been conversation, can Derek handle it? His stats prove he can handle it. It's just he's going to have to consistently do it this season. And their defense, Mike, you know this. When their defense is good, and it's been years since the Raiders have had a really strong defense, that was the year they went into the playoffs and went into the Super Bowl. So until they can improve there, that's what we should be talking about. Forget Derek Carr. It's the Raiders' day.
All right, let's leave that there for the moment. But again, Derek, if you're watching on this show, we've got your back. In the meantime, let me go to a brand new feature here. We call it HD. high definition for Heather Dinich, because no one helps you see things more clearly than Heather does. And she's got 3 things as she joins us from Atlanta this morning that she wants everybody to know. Heather, starting with Georgia, take it away.
Greeny, Georgia coach Kirby Smart said yesterday that he's not worried about complacency because Georgia will not be hunted. I can promise you that. He said complacency isn't a problem because they lost about 15 players to the NFL last year. These players on this team haven't done anything yet. We'll find out if they're not hunted because Oregon is going to come here on Labor Day to open it up against Georgia. And then the second thing to watch this season is Clemson coach Dabo Swinney. He's betting on himself this year. He had to replace both of his coordinators, and he made internal hires. Tommy Streeter, his new offensive coordinator, has never called a play, though he's been on staff for a long time. Wes Goodwin, his defensive coordinator, was Brent Venable's right-hand man, but he was always a defensive analyst. He was never even a position coach. So can they get back to the national championship game with those internal hires? And then finally, quarterback play is going to be phenomenal this year. That means the Heisman race should be one of the best ever. You're talking about CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, jam-packed, but it goes way beyond that. How about linebacker Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama? Yesterday, he told us that he wants to become the first true defensive player to win the Heisman, not for himself, but for younger defensive players. His teammate Bryce Young said he hopes that comes to fruition.
Yeah, as you see the odds on some of these guys, of course, Charles Woodson won the award once upon a time, but played on the special teams and all the rest of that as well. So you see the favorites there, and I wanted to bring Robert Griffin III in, obviously, on this conversation. No one knows the Heisman better than you do, and we're trying to get Paul Feinbaum back here. RG3, when you hear people say this is going to be the greatest Heisman race ever, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just say pump the brakes a little bit, right? We got this year we have 3 Heisman candidates on the same team at Ohio State with C.J. Stroud, Travion Henderson, and also Jackson Smith and Jigba. But it's always around this time in July and August where there's all these Heisman Trophy candidates. But you got to let the year play out. Listen, last year it was DJ Uiagalelei and Spencer Rattler. They were going to take it home, and they didn't even make it to New York. And then of all people to come in second place last year, it was the boogeyman Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, a defensive player that was the runner-up to Bryce Young winning the Heisman, and no one really had predicted that. So I just look at it this way. There's only one guy coming into the season that has a Heisman Trophy and still playing in college football. That's Bryce Young. He is the clear favorite, and Alabama has done some great things in the transfer portal to help him get more weapons to go out there and put on another successful season. But HD, I hear everything you're saying. I'm just saying let the guys play the game. There's going to be a star that pops up in college football that no one's expecting.
Yeah, and Young will try and become the first, the only person besides Archie Griffin to win more than one Heisman. How about it, though, Heather? At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the quarterbacks. All the linebackers and everybody else. That's great. I love it. But we know historically, it is overwhelmingly a quarterback award. If you were to look at one of them right now and say he has the best chance before a single snap has been taken to win it, which one do you have your eye on?
I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud. I love Ohio State. I love the hire of Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator. I actually talked to 2 of their players yesterday on defense who said they think that they've got a chance to get that missing piece of the puzzle to get back to the national title. And when you look at all of the playmakers that he has around him, I think